if you are a channel member, I should have really said this at the start, but with the magic of editing, this is now at the start. If you're a channel member, sign the survey in the description, and you'll get a copy of this game when it comes out. Because I do intend to release it on Steam, and if you're a member, you've paid for it. So just sign up if you're a channel member. If you're not, please don't. But I will check. Hello and welcome to the second dev diary for Hearse Hero, my game made in Godot. Basically, Hearse Hero is a game about driving up to people, running them over, getting a coffin, and then driving it to a graveyard site, which is in the middle of the pavement right now. What I've added since last time, I mean, quite a lot has changed. The most obvious thing you can probably tell is that there are now cars driving around. They're just driving on the pavement. That's just because I haven't made the map properly. You see that they push me around. I'm trying to get to that guy in the middle there. Don't know if you can see my cursor. Yes, you can. I'm trying to get to this guy here. And the car's giving me some trouble. Yes, we got him. And you see that when we killed him, it spawned a police car, which is now going to try and run me off the road. You see the police car is also getting messed up by the other cars. So here comes the police car. You've seen this in the last dev diary, but this time it's like, so when you kill somebody, it spawns a police car. Most of the work I've done is under the hood. Well, okay, the other big things you'll notice is the time remaining. There's now a time remaining, and as you kill people and as you drop them off, you get more time. Basically, the whole point of the game is to try and kill the people within the given time. And it also tells you how many targets there are. I only put 2 on this little test map here. You can see that I've put a lot of... this police car starting to annoy me a little bit. Let's just push them off the map. The police car has a passenger, as you can see. Don't look too closely at the hands. They're not really in the right places. But the idea is that... sometimes it's a policeman, sometimes it's a policewoman, sometimes it's both. Like a co-pilot or whatever you want to call them, a shotgun. So you can see that they're out of buildings. So I've imported all of the buildings from this asset pack. There is a bit of a problem, and the problem is so that there are 2 asset packs that I wanted to use. One is the town asset pack, and one is the city asset pack. This is the city asset pack, so you've got the pavements, you've got you've got all the buildings. I mean, there's only 3 buildings here, but there are a lot more buildings. There are a lot more buildings. I'm going to show you some buildings. So this is the level, right? This is me making the level, and I can just add some buildings, and there's a lot of buildings. So there's like different types of office block, different types of houses, and okay, I guess we've already got that type of house out of all the ones I picked. We went for one that I already had. So office block 1, right, and then this is like a nice office block there, and I can make it sideways if I really want. I can put it in the ground, and then I can attempt to drive up it. Just tilt that a bit more. Also, I'm just going to update the navigation so the enemy police car can follow me up there, and I'm just going to disable the cars. But the main thing that has changed, which we'll get to, is that right. So now there's no cars. You see, I got much nicer FPS with all those cars driving around. But yeah, so I run this guy over. That police car spawns there, and there are 2 for some reason. That's an interesting bug. I don't mind it. I mean, why not? Why not have 2? Looks like they're sort of messing each other up there. You see there's now a reversing script, so if they get stuck for too long, they will actually attempt to reverse for a few seconds, and then come back around again. You see, they are still a bit dopey, but I mean, the point is that they're supposed to be... oh, I've made it too steep, so I can't even drive up there anyway. Let's see if it spawns 2 cars next time. So, they are a bit dopey, but it's not supposed to be impossible to beat, right? Then we have to update the navigation region again, otherwise the enemy cars will drive in space. So we run this guy over, and there's a police car, and there's only 1 police car. So that's an interesting bug. I mean, it's not really so much of a problem, given that I still can't get up this. Now I'm stuck again. I mean, obviously you're not really... Thank you for helping me out, officer. Obviously you're not really supposed to drive up big buildings, but I just thought it'd be interesting to give it a look-see. Where am I going with this? There was a point to this. Nav mesh again. You see all the green stuff updates. So just run that guy over. Right, there's the police car, and you see how it's like this time there's two guys in there. Sometimes it's a man and a woman. You see the police car can run over the villagers, and I'm driving up this. The slope is too great. I wanted to get like a cool jump, do a cool jump, but it looks like instead I'm just going to get stuck on the top because I wasn't going fast enough. But yeah, I added I added all the buildings. The main issue is that it's like here's some stock, some shops, and they're modular in a way that you can sort of edit them. So I could make it local to the scene, and you see it's actually made up of pieces. So I could duplicate this piece and raise it up, just add snapping so it raises up in sections. There we go. And then I could, I could duplicate this piece and raise it up. And then I could grab the roof and make it actually on the top. And hey presto, I've now got a taller one, right? And you can rotate it, etc. So yeah, they're all in the game. It's very cool. You can make them slanted. You can try over and over and over again to get up this thing while the viewer retention continues to fall and fall because people can't be bothered waiting for you to figure it out. You can rebake the nav and the nav mesh, and you can try it again, and you can completely forget what it was that you were trying to say. So there's two guys again in there, but yeah, here you go. So now I can drive up it, wee, right, and the enemy police car should still be following me unless he accidentally drove off the edge of the map, which does happen, and that's fine. You're supposed to be able to beat them, right? So yeah, that's that building that we just put in. This was the other building. So I've imported all of the people, right? So here are all the people. They've got an animation for running away. That's why it looks so silly. One sec. Running away animation. And you see that, oh no, I'm running away. And there's lots of different types of people, not just this guy. You can have this guy, you can have this woman, you can have this woman, you can have this guy, you can have this guy. There's lots. It doesn't actually count them for me, but there's quite a few. Most of them are sort of variations. So you see that this guy is similar to this guy, except his hair color's changed, right? And his jacket color's changed. So that's just a great way that the package adds lots of flavor. And you can see skeleton there. So yeah, there's lots of different guys, and there's lots of different cars as well. There's like 63 types of car, but once again, most of them are variations. So there's like 12 vans of all different colors. There's only one taxi though, and there's like multiple. It's called a sedan in the code, and I just didn't bother changing the name. So yeah, like hatchbacks and stuff, ambulance. I just called this one a Skoda. I don't know what the heck the proper name is. So I've imported all the assets, and we've got a timer. We've got timers. We've got targets. It's actually a game, right? It's a game. You run people over in the time to get more time, and then you drop them off. So fantastic. And most of the work these past few weeks, obviously, I've been focusing on the PhD, right? I've got this full-time PhD. Don't really have much time to work on this, but most of the work has been in making this base level. So essentially, I need to be able to make lots of levels, and this is the biggest project I've ever worked on. The only other big project I worked on was like I made a first-person shooter with destructible terrain, but I only worked on it for 2 weeks. And so it was just like spaghetti. It was all spaghetti. It wasn't very well organized, but this is the biggest project I've worked on, and I want it to be a saleable product. So the main thing I've been working on is cleaning up all the code so that I can actually read it, and that I can remember where things are, and that everything flows together, and making this base level. And so basically, the base level has the car, as you might expect, the navigation region, which helps the people who are running away and the police cars move around. Then it's got a grid map where I can place all the different tiles from this city zone, so grass, pavement, roads, etc. Then it's got a separate one for decals on the top, which I don't have too many of, but it's like manhole covers and street dividers, just things that go on top of the roads to make it look a bit different. Then props, so these are the things that you can knock over. So I guess I haven't mentioned that this time, but if we load up this test map, which was the one from last time, you can see when we get over there that there's like trees and fences and stuff, and I can actually knock these over, right? I can actually knock these over. I can push them around. I can. You can see that the timer's not there anymore, and it actually crashes when we kill somebody. That's because that level is now broken because of what I've been making. And what I've been making is this base level, which has, yeah, it's got the props that you can knock over. It's got the buildings we spoke about, lighting, so the sun, etc. Then where you put the grave markers, so that you kill a guy and then you take him to the grave site, and that's why the grave site's just in the middle of a road, because I haven't made a proper graveyard yet, but I can put those sites anywhere I want. And then I can add people who walk around on paths. I can add cars who walk around on paths. Then I can add the targets, the guys you're actually supposed to kill. And then I can specify, this was my most recent thing, I can specify positions in space where when you kill target 1, a police car will spawn at position 3, right? So if you look at level 1 test, so when you kill this guy has a variable here called target 2, and that is here, and this is where the police car will spawn. So if I just put this in the middle of the air and I save it and I run the scene again, there he is. I run him over, and then well, I didn't like that very much. Seems it just got stuck in the ground a bit there. Probably because it fell from a very high height. We'll see if that happens again. So I run this guy over, and yeah, okay, so police cars don't like falling from heights, apparently. But, it shouldn't really be happening in the game anyway. And the other thing is, so this guy, I can change him to not always look like the same businessman. So if I just type 6 here, it will use profile 6 out of 30 or whatever. And now you can see he's a businessman, but with blonde hair, right? He looks different. And if I change it to 16, now it's a woman in a blue kind of business looking suit, right? Looking at the sky. So I'll just run her over real quick. Yeah, so the police car's still spawning in the sky. Let's undo that. But yeah, I can move it around. I can make it spawn behind me. I can make it spawn to the side of me, and so I've got all the tools I need to make a full level, right? And yeah, I'll show you some props, right? So pizza. So I've got like a giant pizza, and I can just make like several of these and stack them all on top of each other, and then they spawn, they all stack, and then if I drive into them, I should be able to knock them over, yeah? And then I'm pretty sure the police car can do it as well. So let's try that. Let's try to get the police car to knock over the pizza. So I kill her, there's the police car. Yeah, okay, so the props kill the people, right? But yeah, you see the police car taking out that pizza there and then driving off the edge of the map. So it's pretty cool, We've got pizza, we've got police car pizza. But the whole point is that I've set it up in such a way that now I can make new levels reasonably easily. So like here's all the UI stuff, so the second camera, which does tank the FPS, so I'll have to have a setting to remove it. And then the labels, like the target labels that update up here. So I can actually make a level fairly quickly. So I will now show you that because this is a dev diary and I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to be doing other than explaining how the game is made. So first of all, we go to levels, and here's my base level, and then I instantiate. No, I do a new inherited scene, and I call this, okay, so Control S, and in levels, I shall call it, Level 2 test, and I don't like using capital letters because it makes it break so in certain occasions. So level 2 test, here's my level, right, not much there. So first we need to add some ground. So we're going to be adding some pavement, because why not? So we'll go to top-down mode, and that doesn't seem to work properly, so we'll not do that. And so I can just select this area and do Control F and fill it with pavement. Now, if I try and run this level, I can very quickly run this level, but you see there's nothing but pavement, there's no targets, there's no nothing, there's just nothing but pavement as far as the eye can see, and I can, just quite happily drive off the edge of the map. So the next thing to add would be some roads. So there's different types of roads. So that's just that's kind of weird. Why does it look like that? So that's just like a blank road. That's not really got anything to it. But what we can do instead is add a road 2 lanes. So if I just drag this, make it 1, and do Control F, there we go. We've now got a road 1 lane, and you see it's got the dots there. So now I can do what is it, S to rotate this, and then I can shift select these. I can Control F that. I've now got a road, right? That's one road, and then we'll do S again, turn it this way, and let's have a bigger road this time. So yeah, we'll just go straight through that and do Control F. Now we've got part of a road, and then I've got like a middle road section which has lines on either side. As you can see, it's got lines on either side. So I can do that and fill that, and let's have a 4-lane mega highway. So then for the last line, we need the road 2 lanes, and we'll just make it so the lines are facing the other side. Control F. There you go. We've now got our mega highway. Now we need some crossings. So let's put some crossings here so that people can cross. And obviously, crossing a mega highway is probably not very intelligent, but also there probably wouldn't be lines here. So we just replace those with the normal road that doesn't have the lines on it. And we could add a right turn thing here, and towards the edge of the crossing there would be these lines, right? So lines. There you go. There's some lines, and then we can add. So we need some pavement edges, so that the pavement obviously should have an edge here. So let's go back to looking at it from sort of the top down again, and we can do a Control F on pavement lines. Oh, I accidentally picked a sloped one, so it's actually tilting upwards. So this, I think, is, no, that's also sloped. So okay, so we'll need some pavement corners. So there you go. These are the corners. The corners have a weird hitbox. I do need to fix that, but I'll get to it. And I need some pavement that doesn't have any gutters and it's just straight. There it is. So make it face the right way. Control F. There we go. Now we've got some pavement, and you see how I've basically programmed a city builder, right? But the point is, I'm building the cities so that I can put the levels into them. I'm making levels. So I've made, with the help of the engine, of course. Nothing happens without the help of the engine. Like this grid map tool is quite useful, but I've basically made a level editor for my game, because how else am I going to make the levels, right? So every game with levels in it has a level editor. It's just they don't always release it to the public because, and I'm probably not going to either, because that's a lot of work and I don't really understand how it works. But now we've got roads, right? And we've got pavements next to the road, and we can, add some, we can have some subway surfers. So we just delete those 2 spots, and then there you go. So there's a subway there. In fact, wouldn't it be cool if the subway was actually facing this way, because then it feels like people are walking underneath, to get where they're going. Right, there's some sort of subway under there. Then we can add some props. So traffic light left, because obviously you would have traffic lights, and that just starts in the middle of the map. So we'll just bring it over here, and it's got a light attached to it, right? So it's actually got light coming out of it, and we'll just put it there, and then we can duplicate it and add another one over here, maybe. Does that really make sense? No. That would obviously be facing the other way. But if we do that, now it's not, now it's got to be on this side. And so now we can add a traffic light right, which is the mirror image of the one that we just placed. So this should now, I can rotate it more accurately, so I can make it 180 degrees rotation, and that's now facing the right way. And I can duplicate that, and I can reset the rotation, and then I can put that one over here. And I can sort of do perfect placement by going into top-down mode and making it perfect. But for the purposes of this video, it doesn't really have to be. But there you go. You see, so now we've now got this intersection with traffic lights. There's no traffic lights this way. Whatever, you can just cope. And we can add some more props. We can add some trees, or we can add. Yeah, okay. Let's add some trees. Why not? So here's a tree, and the tree can be, I don't know, whatever. The tree can be in there. So next we want people walking around, right? We want people to be able to walk around. So let's actually put these a bit further back, because I want people to be walking on this square, and if they bump into the prop, they'll die. So right, so now I go to my walker paths, and I instantiate a walker path. And then I can now place my path, right? So let's place some lines. So we want them to walk like there. What the heck? Okay. So first we're gonna make a unique curve 3D, and we're just gonna do new. We're gonna make a new path. Basically, that was saving the lines from the old path in the old level. So we want people to walk sort of like this, and the reason why I'm doing it like this will become clear in a second. And then we can close the curve, which is this option, and then we can click these, and there should be a way to where's that happening? So if I shift click this, you see how it's becoming a curve. You can't see it very well, but it's becoming a curve instead of a straight line. And so if we just run this real quick, and I can just run it any time to have a drive around and have a see. You can see we've got some road there. So you can see it spawned all the people, and you see that they're doing like a jagged walk. They're doing a jagged walk. You see this is turning jaggedly, but when she comes to here, it should be a nice smooth turn. See, sort of. I mean, it's sort of jagged a little bit. You see it sort of being a little bit jagged there. But the smoothness is I've demonstrated to you that it is possible. So there you go. We've got people, and we can specify the number of the people. Let's say we want 500 people. It will automatically designate a minimum spacing, and then it and then it will cut down the number of people until it reaches the the maximum, as close to your value as it can. So you see they've got spaces between them, and because we've saturated this area, they're all equally spread out. Whereas if I did 3, they wouldn't be. Don't again. Yeah. I'm just pressing the wrong hotkey there. So now you'll see that they're not like these two are separated by a different amount than these two. It's not entirely obvious because it's not actually that different, but it is a little bit different. So there you go. So let's just have 10, and then we want some cars driving around, so we can add some car paths. So car path, and then we will have So we want a new curve, and I just want these to go from here to here, and then I'm thinking like America moment, right? I'm thinking like British cars, but if it was America, well, whatever. Let's just have them all going that way. So that's one, and we'll make this. Let's make this 10 speed, right? Why not? And then we can just duplicate this and then just move it down a bit. Oops, I should just be able to just move it down a bit. Yeah, and now we've got one for the other lane. And we'll say that there should be 10 cars on this lane, and they should be going 20 miles an hour. And then we can duplicate it again. We'll have another one that's 20, and then we'll have a fast lane, and that can be speed 50. And then if we just start this level now, it will automatically spawn in the cars for us. Our FPS will be very, very low because that's a lot of cars. That's a lot of cars there, so our FPS is very, very low, and I always get like half the FPS when I've got OBS on. So it's probably too many cars. So let's just cut this down to like 3, 3, 3, and let's have this at 10. Basically, the way, because I've got two cameras as well, it's rendering everything twice. But you see that now we've got a highway, we've got cars on the highway, they just drive through the people. But if I try and take this guy out, he wins. Yeah. And you see they just go through the people, and they just sort of mess you up. The whole point is that it's supposed to, obviously you want the world, I want the world to look kind of alive. And also these guys are supposed to make your life a bit harder, because if you're trying to get somewhere and you run into a car, then oh, I know why they're doing that. So they're running it in place, and the reason why is that I've not baked the nav mesh. So I need to add a new nav mesh, and this is the code that it uses to it's a very large area, so it'll take a while. So it's basically saying this is where I can run. I can't run around on this subway. I can run on the roof if I want, but I can't run around the sides of it. And there's no way to get onto the roof from here, so it won't just teleport onto the roof. But what that does mean is that when they run away, I've done it again. When they run away, they then become so let's just go into oncoming traffic a bit here. So you see they're running away now, and now they can actually run away. So he's actually running away there. Let's try. We can try and hit him with a street light. No, we failed a bit there. He's going quite fast. Maybe I made the speed a little bit too fast, but you can see they're running away. And once they get a certain speed away, they will. But yeah, the cars on the road can't kill them. Just otherwise the FPS would be too low, basically. So you can see that the lights actually have a light to them, and you see that we need another fast guy to come before it despawns. Oh, it despawned. Okay, so getting messed up by cars. But yeah, the possibilities are sort of endless, right? But I want to just push this into the road and hope that one of them hits it before it despawns. So you see he hit it there, and he's hitting me. So that's that, and then I can also say, I can say that I want the level timer to be 30 seconds, for example, and then I can start adding targets. So this is a city character, city, yeah, and then I can start adding targets. So there's going to be a target. Whoops, there's going to be a target here, and we'll make that character 1 target here, and that can be character 9, and duplicate again, target here, and that can be like 15. And so that there'll be 3 targets here, and then we need some graveyard spaces. We also need, like, where do we want the police cars to spawn? So I can just add node 3D, and then I can say, okay, I want the police car to spawn here every time I run anybody over. Let's just spawn it here. Anytime I run anybody over, I can't remember which way it's going to face, but basically I can tell all of these that the police car is always going to spawn in that place, or I can have 3 different places, right? But I'm just going to tell them all that that's where that police car is going to spawn when we kill them. and then we need some graveyard spaces, like places to take people. So let's go back up to ground, and then we can get some grass. And we'll just put some grass in, and then we'll have a nice little path going through the grass. There can be a, don't think there's like a plus one. So, but yeah, there's like T's and stuff. So, um, hmm. Let's not have a path that goes all the way through. Let's have a path like this, and it goes like that, and then it can curve around. You see that the grass doesn't tile like 100% correctly. See, there's like a little ridge there, but nobody's gonna notice, man. It doesn't matter. And then I can add some fences. Whoops, fence. So I don't know which one I want, but that's a fence, and we can have some fences around the graveyard site. And there was like a fence post. I seem to remember fence. Okay, post. It might just be called post. Oh yeah, I remember now. Fence left. Yeah, so I can make fence left. There you go. See, now it's got a post. Just delete that. And sadly, this has become a child of that. So we'll just whoops, delete that. You can accidentally delete your own level and stuff like that, but obviously it's got an undo function. I say obviously, it's got an undo function. So now we'll have some fence posts. Ta-da! This actually probably isn't going to work properly. From what I remember, these don't line up properly. That's just like a placeholder thing. But yeah, you got some fences that go all the way around, and so I've got a graveyard spot. Oh no, it looks like it. No, so you see they're colliding with each other. So yeah, that's something I still got to work on. You see they're colliding with each other, but they also collide with me, so I can like knock the fence posts over and stuff like this. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful there. And then I can put the graveyard space, in the graveyard, and we would need 3. Otherwise, it's not gonna like it. So, put that over there. And basically, the reason for the arrow is that you've got to go in a certain way. Eventually, there'll be an animation where when it shoots out, it actually shoots into a grave. But for now, it's just an arrow. And you can get some street lights in there. So street light. I think I call it park light. There it is. So get some nice lights, and I can put benches in and stuff. I won't waste your time with this. So there you go. And now when we launch the level, you see we start and we've got 30 seconds left. It says targets 3. It points us to the closest target, and we're trying to get across the road. And so it's pointing us to this lady here, but if we drive closer to the ginger man, it will actually point to the closest target, right? So then, okay, so we're going to hit her, and then a police car should spawn there. There we go. And he made it across the road just fine. I'm sure we'll do the same. No, we got hit there. And then, so now it will point to the nearest graveyard space, so it's pointing there, but if I go closer to this one, it'll point there. You can see behind me the police car's taking names. He's also interacting with the scenery there. So then we'll, and then you see the time is going up here, right? So that it's a level. So I've made a level editor for my game, so I can make loads of levels. So another, you see he's getting messed up by the cars there. So another thing to note is, so if you run a target over, you can't run over another target. And see, now we've got 2 police cars because now it's spawned a second one. So that guy you see is now frozen in place. This is just so you don't accidentally break the game by running over multiple targets before taking one to the grave site. Do you know what I mean? Because you can only hold one coffin at once. So now we're gonna get over here. Drop this one off. And yep, police car's still following us. Oof. If we get knocked over, there's no saving us. And you see that one had a man and a woman. This one just has a man. A police officer. And now we're going to run over that ginger guy, get another hearse, get another coffin. Now there's a 3rd police car. They're all getting messed up by the traffic, but so are we. And then we obviously, I want the levels to be like very involved, lots of scenery everywhere, not just like a nice flat plane. So that brings me to what I wanted to say, which is like, so the obvious question is, well, okay, Hippie, you've basically made enough things to just like actually make the game. So well, where's the game? Obviously, these things take time, but the main thing is that I actually wanted to. So there are two asset packs I bought. This is the city one. That's why there are skyscrapers, right? So I had a. I've shown you this before, right? But you know, office blocks, and you know, I can just add loads of office blocks, and I can like remove floors off them and stuff if I want, and then I would rebake the nav mesh so that the cars go around this. The police cars, the guys just following the paths will just go wherever I tell them to go. They'll go straight through whatever you want. So basically, there's another asset pack which is a town, and it's got like more town things. Like it's got like a church. It's got you know like smaller houses, more of a suburban American kind of feel. And the way I figure it is that I should start in the town, right? I should start in the town, have a bunch of levels in the town, and then go into the big city. And the big city should be harder. The level should be harder because it should be more congested. You know, because if you can imagine that, it's like right now we're just going down the road, but if there's loads of cars and I need to figure out how to optimize the game more, basically it's rendering the whole level no matter where you are twice because two cameras. And there's a way you can make it so that if, for example, I'm here, right, I can't see those two buildings. So the game should not render them because I can't see them. And there's a way you can set it up to do that. I just haven't gotten around to it. That's something you do at the end, really. And then you know it would save loads of FPS because if I'm here, I can't see any of the cars on the road, right? I can't see any of them apart from the two here, whatever. And so that should your FPS should be high all the time because if you make a nice built-up area, you're never exposed to the whole area. Whereas here, you know, I'm seeing every car that's coming down this road. So I need to do that, and I need to add the sound. Of course, there's no sound, and there's no like you win screen. There's no you lose screen. I need to figure out how to make Steam achievements work. There's always lots and lots and lots to do. I have a to-do list. I'm not a big believer in these like complicated systems. It's just an Excel sheet, and it's when I start. It's a task. If I think of anything, I write it down, or if I think of anything I actually want to do, I write it down, and then when I started it, when I completed it, we're making the dev diary. And yeah, the next thing is to import the town scene and all the town people, the town cars. It's got its own cars, the town buildings, the town roads, the town scenery, and then make a bunch of levels in the town. And then the second level set of levels, chapter 2 or whatever you want to call it, would take place in the city. So, because it doesn't make sense to start in the city and then go to the town, right? You want to start small and build up. Another thing I haven't put in this level is elevation. I've added the ability to add elevation. I suppose you saw that in the last dev diary. This is getting a bit long now, so thanks for listening. If you are a channel member, I should have really said this at the start, but with the magic of editing, this is now at the start. If you're a channel member, sign the survey in the description, and you'll get a copy of this game when it comes out, because I do intend to release it on Steam, and if you're a member, you've paid for it. So just sign up if you're a channel member. If you're not, please don't, but I will check, and that's what the survey is for, right? So see you around. Thanks for listening.